Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting from Birdland here in New York City. This week here at Birdland marks a very pivotal part of the Yellowjackets' recording career. This year marks the 35th anniversary as a group, as well as they're releasing their third album on Mack Avenue Records entitled Coherence, which is their 22nd as a band. Also, the Yellowjackets have a brand new member. His name is Dane Alderson, and he's a bassist who hails from Perth, Australia. Now, for the last year, Dane has been a very, very important part of this band as well as this new recording. And I had a chance to sit down and speak with the gentleman of the Yellowjackets to talk about, one, this brand new recording, and also reflections of Dane as a musician. And also I had a chance to speak with Dane himself to talk about what he wants to bring to the Yellowjackets as well as his musical background. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of the official record release performance party for the Yellowjackets' new recording, Coherence, which is on the Mack Avenue Records imprint, live as part of the Pace Report here in New York City, live from Birdland. Russell, congratulations. This is 35 years in the making. This is your third recording for Mack Avenue Records, and you have a new addition.
Yes, Dane Alderson on bass. We feel very fortunate to have found this young man. Incredible musician, great human being, and it's been a year now that we've been working together, and the music is really has come together beautifully.
I understand that this took 2 days to record all together. You had 10 songs.
Yeah. This particular project, we were able to rehearse the music and play it live before we recorded it. Almost, I think, every piece, maybe with the exception of one piece. So that really streamlined the recording process. We were really comfortable with the music and just kind of like in the studio, like we were playing a live concert. So.
You know, Russell, I have to ask you, there's some beautiful songs on here. You guys did a very interesting reworking of John Coltrane's Giant Steps.
Yeah, and I must give some credit to Felix Pastorius as well. During the time Felix was playing with us, he had graph paper all the time on airplanes, and he was working out ideas, and he introduced that idea to me. He was working on some chord progression, and it was really intriguing, and I said, can I get a little piece of this? And we started working on it, and yeah, it's a fun kind of harmonic puzzle like Giant Steps was, you know. This is a little technical, but Giant Steps modulates major thirds, and this song modulates minor thirds. So it kind of messes you up if you're used to giant step changes. Yeah.
What do you think the key ingredients of keeping the Yellowjackets together for 35 years? I mean, because tonight and the other nights, you guys have been playing to sold-out crowds, and it seems like you guys have musically got this unit that just continues to make people happy.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I think it's all going to sound like cliches, but we genuinely love what we do. I mean, we love music. We love playing together. We've got, I think, just a great combination of personalities, people that are very giving, very much team players, and I think we all realize how fortunate we are to have this opportunity to record and tour and write our own music, and I don't think we're going to be very tenacious in holding on to that. And it's still, I mean, it's more fun now than it's ever been. I think there's a bigger quotient of gratitude and appreciation for the opportunity we have.
Congratulations on this brand new CD. This is 35 years in the making. What has kept this unit together?
A desire to, remain an ensemble and keep the conversation going. Basically, it's a real ensemble. There's no leader. It's all about the conversation. It's all about ensemble playing, and that's the challenge for us. And I think that's what really sets this band apart from other bands.
You know, there are particular tracks on this CD that I like. I was telling Russell earlier the song that you did for Giant Steps, the reworking is fantastic, but the tribute that you do to Eddie Harris is out of sight.
Yeah, that's a fun tune. I mean, the whole record really goes to some different places for us, and it's a very varied, interesting storyline. And if you listen to all the different tunes and where they go, we're very proud of that record.
Dane is the new addition to the Yellowjackets. Tell me about this whole year working and recording with him and actually touring with him.
Dane's a remarkable musician. He's a wonderful guy, and he fit in so beautifully. And excuse me. Of course, you know, in a collaborative band like this, whenever you plug in a new member, it changes the equation. And in this case, it changed quite a bit because Dane is a very unusual player, and he brought a whole other sensibility to the music, and it's been a lot of fun.
You know, there have been some great fusion groups. You know, there's Weather Report, and there's the Yellowjackets and the Rippingtons. And it seems like what differentiates you from you guys is the fact that you guys really started off doing a little bit of what we call the smooth jazz, the fusion jazz, but now you're coming back to straight ahead jazz.
Well, again, I mean, if you consider each individual member's background, that's going to impact on the direction of the music. You know, in my case, I come from a straight ahead jazz background, although, you know, I also played with Jaco Pastorius and different people, but you know, we all bring different influences, so this musical stew is made, and depending upon who's in the band at any given time, it will impact on the direction of the music. And the fun thing for me, I mean, I've been in the band 26 years, is the music has changed, you know, dramatically with each of the few personal changes we had. There were only really three. But the music is constantly changing, evolving, growing, and it in great part due to whoever it is that's in the band at the time.
Still Will Kennedy, it's always good to break bread with you. You know, this is a brand new CD, and you have a new member of the Yellowjackets. And this week, you guys have played to a lot of sold out shows. What are you guys feeling about Dane as a new member and the material and the reception that music fans are getting from the new music?
It's always a thrill to be able to make a new presentation with fresh material. And when you change an integral part of the band, like the bass player, it totally shifts your world. And from the drum chair, it can be beautiful or it can be a disaster. But in this case, it's beautiful. Dane has been a wonderful contributor to our presentation, to our band, and he's just added a fresh new launch to this new release and to our live shows. And he basically comes with a great balance between street knowledge and musical technical knowledge. And it's that sort of balance that is appropriate for a musician who's worth their weight in gold. You have to have the ability to know to speak the blues, and you got to know when to use your mind and you know, be technical and have depth in your ability to play and express yourself on the instrument. So you can't just play blues in this band. You have to play blues, jazz, Brazilian, African, you know, all of the above. myself from the drum chair. I'm playing a Latin groove on one song, a total fast, bright swing tune on the next, a funk thing on the next, and you have to be at home with all of those styles. It's the same with every position in our group, especially the bass. So Dane, it's just came in. He just come in like a king, and has just been throwing down with the proper confidence on his bass, proper musicality, and it's just been a great asset.
You know, I spoke with Dane a little earlier, and Dane was telling me you're the reason why he's in this band. He said he saw you saw some performance clips of him, and you guys reached out, and it seems like there's this camaraderie. You guys are kind of like mentors to him at this stage of his career.
Amen. Well, I'm 55, and I used to be the baby of the band. So now Dane just had his 33rd birthday, so we're showing him the ropes and letting him know what it's supposed to be like. So it's been a thrilling experience because you throw him a challenge and he whips it back at you. I mean, speaking of his intro into the band, yes, we found him on YouTube, and we ended up at a one-off gig in Denver, and we sent Dane about 13, 14 songs, and Dane memorized every tune. So if you come in from that plateau where you know the songs, you're not looking at music, but you know the songs and you're open and ready to create an event in the show, then that's just a higher plateau from which you're launching from. And it was amazing. And it's been amazing since day one.
You know, well, one of the things I noticed, I was eating dinner watching the first set, and I noticed that there's this maturity that he has when he's playing with you guys on the band stage. There's like you say he's 33, but he plays like he's about 63.
Exactly. And it's that sort of confidence, it's that sort of character, that sort of contribution that was necessary. It was meant to be. It was faith. It was the right time for that sort of person to be a part of this organization. Now, we've had some of the most incredible musicians in this band. Jimmy has a founding member and left a huge footprint in this band, just in terms of musicianship and contribution with compositions, and he was a mentor to all of us and was just a shining light from many perspectives in terms of producing the records, composing the songs, and performing live, and a personality. He left a huge footprint. So to have and find a young person like Dane, who's holding his weight, doing his game properly, coming with the proper knowledge from street and technical, there's no words to describe how the flow with Dane has just been just a beautiful experience.
You know, Will, 35 years this band has been together, and this is your third for Mac Avenue and the 22nd Yellowjackets project. What differentiates this album from all the other projects that you guys have put out?
Wow, there was a wonderful event that took place as we created the music for Coherence. We had the time to compose the tunes and actually begin performing them live before we went into the studio. And it was something we talked about for many years and never got around to pulling it off, just didn't work out with the schedule. But we did it this time, and there was something about being able to feel the music with an audience and help shape and mold it from the stage, in addition to obviously composing it and rehearsing it. But that extra added layer, that extra added experience of playing it live in front of an audience to see what it feels like as in a live situation. It was awesome, and it also set us up to enter into the studio with the songs done.
So it's basically you recorded it live in the studio, and it was pretty much that's why it took 2 days to record it.
Yeah, 10 songs in 2 days. And, I mean, in certain circles, that is not a rare thing. But, and it's not that we were taking, before taking months to get a project done. But it's a pretty phenomenal feat when you listen to the music that we performed. We came in with the, confidence and attitude to just, let's get this done. And I think it's a great body of music. And I mean, when you got the mic in front of your face and you're asked to talk about your music, there's a thin line between bragging and just speaking the truth. But I love these songs. I'm proud of this project, and I think it's a great body of music. So I look forward to everybody hearing it. Come on, Coherence Yellowjackets.
Dane, the world for the last year has seen you, and you are now officially a Yellow Jacket. How do you feel right about now?
I
I'm so grateful to be playing with the Yellowjackets. Not a day, not a gig goes by where I'm not extremely grateful. And it's been exactly 1 year since I've been playing with the Yellowjackets, and I'm still pinching myself. It's a dream come true. And they treat me so well and keeping me busy, and it's a real pleasure. It's a real pleasure.
You are from Australia, and tell everybody how the Yellowjackets reached out to you, because you're now filling in for Felix Pastorius, who just left the group.
That's right. I'm from Perth, West Australia. I grew up in Perth. I studied jazz in Perth at the West Australian Academy of Performing Arts. I graduated there in 2002, I think it was, 2002. The Yellowjackets contacted me. I got an email from Will Kennedy. He saw a couple of YouTube videos that I was playing on with a couple of my friends back home in Australia, a band called Void, V-O-I-D. And William and I have a mutual drummer friend, a guy named Andy Fissenden, who I worked with a whole bunch back in Australia. And Will saw a couple of our videos. He contacted Andy and said, who's your bass player? And Andy said, he's my mate Dane, and he lives in the US. And put me in touch, and I was sitting on my couch, and I got an email from Will Kennedy saying, do you want to do some gigs with the Yellowjackets? And I had a long, hard think about it, and I got back to him, and I said, absolutely. I didn't know if it was real or not. I thought it was a joke at first, but yeah, man, very lucky, very, very lucky.
Now, this is your first recording with the Yellowjackets, Convergence, and what was it like going into the studio, working with these seasoned musicians and playing compositions written by these guys? Because I know this had to be kind of a culture shock for you.
Absolutely. I had a couple of months to prepare. We were doing a few gigs, and so I had a chance to run through a few of the new songs and the new material, but it was an incredible experience. I mean, to be able to perform with these guys and hang with them and spend time with them, but to see how they are in the studio and just how professional they are and how relaxed they are in the studio environment, I then felt relaxed, you know. I knew I was working with absolute pros, you know, and so I felt great. We recorded Coherence is the name of the album. We recorded it at Conway Studios in LA, some of the most beautiful studio I think I've ever seen in my life. And that was back in August last year, and we recorded 10 songs in 2 days. And it was just an incredible experience, man.
Dane, tell the music viewers outside who are watching this, who are some of the musical influences that you grew up listening to?
Growing up, I had so many different musical influences. Everything from Weather Report to Stevie Wonder, Steely Dan, Joe Cocker. I started out on drums. My father Rick is a drummer, and I was going to be a drummer. That was always the plan. And I was into heavy metal. I had long hair. I wore black clothing, flannel shirts, and that was my thing. I had the double bass drum pedals, and then my stepbrother at the time had some Chili Peppers albums, and I started hearing what Flea was doing on the bass, and that changed my life, and I became a bass player. I wanted to learn how to do that. So the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that then led into funk and jazz. Jaco Pastorius, of course. So many guys. Victor Wooten, Richard Bona is a huge influence. Matthew Garrison, a guy by the name of Hadrien Feraud from France. Otil Burbridge, Pino Palladino, Michel Ndegeocello. The list goes on and on and on. And many influences, and I love electronica, I love ambient music, I love traditional Irish music. My sister was always into traditional Irish music. Had so many different musical influences, and I'm very grateful for that, very grateful.
Dane, being in the Yellowjackets now, what is it that you want to bring to this music amalgamation?
My role as a bass player, I feel it's my responsibility to make these guys sound as great as they possibly can, and to make their amazing and beautiful compositions sound as best as I can, and support these guys as best as I can, but at the same time injecting my own personality and my own ideas into the mix as well, so giving it my own little twist. But my main goal is making sure these guys are happy and comfortable on stage, and when I know they are, then I am. Then I feel good. I feel happy.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting from Birdland here in New York City. I'd like to personally congratulate the members of the Yellowjackets for their brand new record, Coherence, on the Mack Avenue Records imprint. Also, I'd like to personally congratulate Dane for becoming a new member of the Yellowjackets. Much continued success. As always, please visit my website, www.thepacereport.com, for my weekly column as well as my past segments. I'd like to personally thank the staff and management here at the Birdland for their warm hospitality. Also, Maureen McFadden and the staff at DL Media for arranging my time with the members of the Yellowjackets. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace.
Thank you.